society.
Hello guys, Alex Fischbein back again with another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. And this week I want to talk about Joakim Noah potentially heading to the bench. Tristan Thompson and his deal that he received from the Cavs. And also, well, two other things actually. There's also Greg Popovich agreeing to become the coach of USA Basketball. And this potential 40-yard dash matchup between Peyton Manning and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, first things first, I'm the realist. No, I'm just playing. Let's talk about Joakim Noah heading to the bench for the Chicago Bulls. Personally, I think that is a good move. Now, let me explain. Joakim Noah was a Defensive Player of the Year, right? And then he went into last season with some pretty high expectations. I mean, once you win a Defensive Player of the Year award, you're expected to keep that level of defensive play up. You're expected to still be the defensive leader, still be the anchor of the defense, and be that energy guy that is always there for his teammates and can really get his teammates going on the defensive end of the ball. But the problem is that when you're in the kind of system that Joakim Noah was in Thibodeau's system, he was run into the ground. I mean, everyone knows by now that Thibodeau just overplayed all of his starters. All of his starters were averaging like more than 30 minutes a game. They were just getting destroyed health-wise, fatigue-wise, all of that kind of stuff. And it's really hard, especially on a big man who their stamina isn't as good as the smaller players, as the guards, as the small forwards. So when you have the bigger guys who, I mean, a lot of them have these kind of issues. They can't stay on the court for 40 minutes a game without like really taking a hit in their value and in their style of play and things like that. And with Joakim Noah, I mean, he built himself up. He got better each year. He was a huge energy guy for him, that big defensive anchor, everything. And it all accumulated into that Defensive Player of the Year award. But the next season, it looked like all of those minutes played, all of the people that he had depending on him just really kind of culminated into something where we were like, you know, what's going on with Joakim Noah? Why doesn't he look like his normal self? Why isn't he really leading this team on defense? Why isn't he like dominating the paint like he used to? It's tough. When you get run into the ground like that through Thibodeau's system, it's really tough to keep up that kind of play. And not just like keep up that kind of play, but just keep up that level all the way up there that Joakim Noah was at, especially on defense. And it was weird because it really looked like Joakim Noah was so used to playing tired that he just started developing habits that he would do when he was tired because he's too tired to do other things. And so he would play like that 24/7. And that really made Joakim Noah's game take a hit. It really took him down a notch. And now, in this season coming in, with all that build-up fatigue from all of those minutes played, you are looking at a Joakim Noah that kind of is a shell of himself right now. But he did really work on his conditioning. He really worked on his game this summer. And he's really looking for it to pay off, which I believe it will. Because if you have a really focused, really determined Joakim Noah who is really focused on getting back to that level play that he was at, I mean, that's a dangerous kind of guy. And now, not only do they have Pau Gasol, but they have a rising Mirotic who is getting better every time. They have a great draft pick in Bobby Portis, who has looked very good in the preseason and summer league so far. And you still have Taj Gibson, who could potentially be a trading chip but he is still that quality guy they've had coming off the bench who's a very nice defensive big man. And you could even throw Doug McDermott in at the 4 if you really need to, because, I mean, the whole league's going small ball. It's a thing. It's a more than a trend. It's just like that's where the league is headed right now because everyone wants to play that faster style of ball. So, with Joakim Noah coming off the bench, not only do you have a leader, a veteran, a quality defensive player coming off the bench now, you're giving a younger guy a chance to start in probably like moving Powell to center, probably putting Mirotic at power forward, or even putting Bobby Portis in a power forward or something like that. I mean, either way it could work because they're also both stretch fours that can really shoot the mid-range, shoot the 3, stuff like that. So, when you're bringing Joakim Noah in off the bench, one, he's not playing nearly as much as he was before, which means he's going to be fresher as time goes on and as you get to the playoffs where you really need him the most. And two, just to have those kind of intangibles on your bench coming into the game at a point when you probably need them most is a really big X factor for this team who, I mean, it's the same core, same crew of guys with a new scheme and everything. But it's still, you can't put a value on that. That's something great that every team would love to have coming off the bench. That's what any team would love, any coach especially would love. So, if you ask me, I think that's a pretty smart move to have Joakim Noah come in off the bench, and it'll definitely help the Bulls now. It'll help in the long run, and it'll help later on this season when, you know, the fatigue and everything starts to kick in of the starters and stuff. When the guys need a rest, you can throw Joakim Noah in there, and you don't really take a step back at all. I see it as a pretty good move. Now, I don't want to talk about this too much because I think I talked about it a little bit before, but Tristan Thompson got his deal. He's making around $16 million a year now. Obviously, a direct impact of how this salary cap is going. And, man, for a guy who's averaged 8 points and 8 rebounds a game making $16 million, I mean, when you really think about it, when you just think about like those figures, Steph Curry's making about, I think it's like 11, 12 million a year. And he just won an MVP. And a championship ring. And he is making about 4 to 5 million less than a guy who hasn't won any awards, has averaged 8 points and 8 rebounds a game. Now, I know that his value is really big to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He played great for them in the finals. He's a big cog in their championship run odds, probability, whatever. He's a big part of their success. And I get that. I understand that. So you obviously want to keep that kind of guy around. But like, man, if they don't win it this season, you're going to have him on the books for like $16 million a year? And I really don't think any other team is going to want to trade for him if they have to pay him $16 million a year, even if the salary cap is increasing or not. I know personally, if I was a GM, I could find a guy who could go out and do 8 and 8 a game for like $5 million a year. I understand in the Cavs part, like, they really wanted him. He's part of their success. I understand all of that. But at the same time, when you break it down and just look at the figures, look at the stats, and look what other people are making, that's crazy. I mean, that's just insane. If you told me there's going to be a player who won an MVP, and he's making $11 million a year, and then a player who's not even starting, average 8 and 8, and he's going to make 16, I'll be like, well, why would I want him? Give me the MVP. That's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer whatsoever, man. Anyway, moving on to Popovich and USA basketball. I mean, obviously, it's sad to see Krzyzewski step down. Coach K has been an amazing coach, college and internationally. He's coached the likes of God knows how many superstars in the NBA for USA basketball. And, I mean, with a coach like that, with such a great resume, he's got Hall of Famer, it's really hard to fill his shoes. Now you look and you see Greg Popovich, who's already won five championships with the Spurs, and now you're putting him and his ideals, his system with all of these NBA superstars. That is going to be some really fun basketball to watch. I'm beyond excited to see what kind of things Popovich is going to do with USA basketball. I'm excited to see if he's going to bring that Spurs style of basketball to USA basketball. Because if he does, that would be awesome to see. Like, all right, let's just pure, like, imaginative situation here. Let's just say you got, Chris Paul, James Harden, LeBron, Durant, and let's go with, I don't know, put Blake Griffin in at center, just because we're still pretty big. Anyway, so just imagine those kind of guys playing a Spurs style of ball, where they're whipping the ball around, always finding the open guy, and with all those quality players around, dude, it's like they're already winning by like 40 points in their games. They'd be winning by like 60 points if they were playing that kind of just like everyone's sharing the ball, everyone's finding the open man, everyone's playing as a unit. That would be insane. And like, I understand other countries would probably be pretty pissed because we'd be blowing cats out. But as far as entertainment value, that'd be, oh my God, that'd be some beautiful basketball to watch. Whew! Whew! Anyway, so last thing I want to talk about, which is a pretty funny topic if you ask me. Dirk was talking about how in the locker room they were arguing who would win in a 40-yard dash, Peyton Manning or Dirk Nowitzki. I have to go Dirk on that one. I mean, I know Dirk isn't that fast and he's getting older, but I have to go Dirk, because if you've ever seen Peyton Manning even try and like scramble a little bit in the pocket, or see him just like kind of like try and fall forward for a first down, it looks awful. I mean, no disrespect to Peyton Manning at all. He's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, but he just does not look athletic at all when he tries to run the ball. There's a reason why he always stays in the pocket, and if he's going to get sacked, he just falls down, because he can't run. He's not fast, and it looks hilarious every time he tries to run. At least Dirk Nowitzki has always been running up and down the basketball court. He's always been doing that. Peyton doesn't run. It's not in his game style. So, I mean, first off, this will be a really funny race to watch in general, because they're both tall white guys that are kind of lanky, and they're not as athletic as the rest of the people in either of their sports, and it would definitely be some great television to watch, but I definitely have to go Dirk with that one. Let me know what you guys think, because, I mean, I'm saying Dirk takes it easily, but yeah, that's my thought on that topic. Anyway, thank you guys for listening and watching another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. If you missed it yesterday, I dropped the first episode of The Atlantic Files for the new season. It's a season preview. Make sure you check that out. It's on our SoundCloud. It's on our iTunes podcast at The Basketball Society. And, of course, as always, make sure you check out the website, www.basketball-society.com. And check out the Twitter at @bballsociety_. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.